Welcome to the live stream video podcast, Issues Matter. Hosted by Pastor Aaron Phillips. Each week, Pastor Phillips will focus on timely issues, which affect the lives of citizens of the neighborhoods of the greater Cleveland area. This is a live broadcast, so Pastor Phillips encourages viewers to call in and participate in discussions. Your input and points of view are important, as we attempt to dig as deep as possible into those issues that play a role in our daily lives. So, without further ado, here is your host, our fearless leader, Pastor Aaron Phillips.
Good evening, everybody. This is Issues Matter with Pastor Aaron Phillips. I'm your host, Pastor Aaron Phillips, the senior pastor of this church, Sure House Baptist Church, and the executive director of the Cleveland Clergy Coalition. The Cleveland Clergy Coalition is an amalgamation of all of the African American clergy organizations here in northeastern Ohio, and we're here to also always work together with our churches and the kingdom of Christ and to bring good quality information to our community. That's why we're here every week from 6 to 7, and we welcome you to our broadcast. And we thank God for our musician who's been playing today, Minister Melvin Ashford. Please give him a big hand. All right. We're going to go, we usually would have a song first, but we have the busiest doctor in the county with us today. I have had the privilege to know Dr. Charles Motlin for at least 10 years now. There was a time, Minister Johnson, I did not want to go to the doctor. I just didn't like it. Plus, I was a little younger. I didn't think I needed to. And he encouraged me, and because of the Minority Men's Health Fair, I started going. I went to the doctor then, and I've been going ever since. I am actually a product of the Minority Men's Health Fair. And I really appreciate that. And at the time, one of the reasons I didn't go is because I didn't have a job that allowed me to have insurance at that time. So it was really a privilege, and this is one of the most important annual events that goes on in the black community, which is led by one of our leading African-American, but just a leading doctor right here in our city. I thank God. Let's welcome Dr. Charles Motlin here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Dr. Miles, I know your story because we've done this a lot and I know you, but tell some people who may not know your story how you became a doctor and why this is so important to you.
So first of all, thank you for having me on your program. It's an honor. I think we've known each other closer to 20 years.
Yes.
Because actually April the 27th marks our 20th year of the Minority Men's Health Fair
yes.
at Metro Health. So we'll talk about, we want all the men in the audience to attend the health fair. But I actually became a physician mainly because I watched how my mother took care of my grandmother, her mother, back in the 60s and 70s as I was growing up. My grandmother, as she got older, up into her 80s, she wasn't able to take care of herself. And eventually we moved my grandmother, Clara Hampton was her name, into our home. And we all took turns taking care of her, all of my siblings, myself. And eventually we had to put her into a nursing home, and we would actually literally go visit her in the nursing home every single day. And I took I had a lot of satisfaction, helping feed her, get her water, push her in her wheelchair down to the dining hall, helping, feed her. And then eventually, I think when I was a senior in high school, I got a job as an orderly in the hospital. Most hospitals don't even have orderlies anymore.
Right.
They're kind of like medical assistants. You work with a nursing team. And I always enjoyed, studying science in high school. So this is why I kind of gravitated toward the medical profession. At the time, I had to make a decision either to go into music. I was a pretty good trumpet player back in the day, or go into medicine, and I chose medicine. And my father always told me, I'm actually the first male from my family lineage to graduate high school. My father would have, but having been born in 1924, when he was 17 years old, he had to enroll in the United States Navy to service his country, so he never had an opportunity, to finish his schooling, his education. But he always told me that it was my responsibility to use my education to give back to the community. And so, this is how I, got into the field of medicine.
And what led you to start the Minority Men's Health Fair? You're right, it is 20 years ago. Yeah, I just didn't want to remember how old I am. But yes, it was 20 years ago. I was in my 30s. So, so tell us why the Minority Men's Health Fair is so important to our community.
So, as I was growing up, a young boy, my father always told me that nobody cares about black men. And, being a young kid, I didn't really realize what he was talking about. It didn't resonate. And then as I grew and had, certain lived experiences, I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Right.
And again, it was his admonition to me that I use my education. I remember, to get back to the community, I remember graduating high school. He was proud of me. He said, "What are you going to do next?" Graduated college. He was proud of me. "What are you going to do next?" Graduated medical school. "What are you going to do next?" I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to satisfy this guy? You know?
Right.
And he was always pushing me. He was a deacon in his church, the Methodist church back in Indiana. And again, he was always impressing upon me that I need to use my education to give back to the community. After I became a urologist, finished my training at Cleveland Clinic in kidney transplantation, that's when I really became aware of this healthcare disparity crisis. Before that, I really wasn't aware of it. And I just had an epiphany. As a urologist, we have expertise in men's health. We take care of women as well, but we have expertise in treating prostate cancer, prostate disease, reproductive system of the male, the urinary tract. And so I had an epiphany after I visited, my family and I, we visited it's called the National Underground Freedom Center. Mm-hmm. It's a museum down in Cincinnati, Underground Railroad Museum. And after I visited that museum, it actually made me very angry, seeing the depictions of how they treated the slaves, the shackles, and sure. I hate to say it this way, the lynchings and stuff. I mean, it's just...
that's the way to say it. That's what it was, yeah.
But my father always told me, if you want to overcome something, you actually have to hate, and you're not supposed to hate anything or use the word hate. But I got so angry, going to that museum, that it really came to me what I could do to help the community using my training. So realizing that black men in particular have the highest incidence of healthcare disparities, the lowest life expectancy compared to any group in the world. A lot of it has to do with discrimination, racism, being disenfranchised. There are other, obviously, social determinants. Tuskegee's syphilis experiment, you were talking about how you didn't want to go to the doctor. A lot of black men fear going to the doctor.
Right.
Out of fear of being distrust, the distrust, the feeling of being used as a guinea pig, for example.
Yes.
So I met, people like you.
And it's so intrusive because they ask you all these questions, and it becomes a part of your medical record. Right. And the next thing you know, what you had told your doctor, your insurance company is learning it. Yes. So it's a very difficult thing, and you're right. It's tough to be a black man in America, and I'm glad two black men understand. I wish more people understood that, Dr. Marlin. But I say that in jest, but our church was really began with a black male's ministry, men's Bible study. Mm-hmm. And so we're very male friendly. Mm-hmm. We still have men come and stand up and be deacons, and that's why we're going to have those same men. We're going to be coming down to our minorities men's health fair. Tell us when the men's health fair is, and what all can expect from the men's health fair. So
we encourage all men to come down to the health fair. Again, we're reaching out to men of color, because men of color have the highest incidence of high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, colorectal cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer.
Wow.
The list goes on and on. Yeah. So it's
mental health too, right?
Mental health. And again, a lot of times we forget, to talk about mental health.
Yeah.
And so it's a free preventative screenings health fair. We're offering over 30 free screenings.
Wow.
We're not going to take your insurance. We're not going to bill your insurance. It's all free. Health examinations, health information, including behavioral health screenings. We have about 650 Metro Health volunteers. We have about 100 different community organizations participating. We're going to be in 3 simultaneous Metro Health locations: at the main campus, which is on West 25th Street. We're going to be at the Ohio City campus. And we're going to be at the Metro Health Cleveland Heights campus, right across from the Home Depot in Cleveland Heights.
Okay.
There's a convenient phone number that you can call. There's a website, metrohealth.org.
Well, let me give them that phone number right now, and that's April 27th. That's this month. What day is April 27th? That Thursday?
The last Thursday of the month.
Last Thursday. I thought that was a Thursday. Thursday, which is a very good day to do this. Thursday, April 27th, from 5 to 8:30. Call 216-957-3862. 216-957-3862. You also can go to a website and go to register, and tell us about that about the registration process.
Yeah, so if you can go online, it's metrohealth.org/MMHF. That stands for Minority Men's Health Fair. Or just type in Google Metro Health Minority Men's Health Fair. The registration will come up. We ask you to enter your name, address, and again, that's so that we can mail you your results. We're drawing blood and doing exams. We want to be able to get back in touch with you. There was a glitch on the system this year as far as the registration, so we're fixing it because we're using our regular electronic medical record system, and it may ask you for your insurance. If you see that it asks for insurance, you just click no insurance because we're not taking insurance. Insurance is not required whatsoever.
Okay.
I can't it's a free health fair. Most men will actually just walk in on the day of the event, so you don't have to worry about pre-registering. We'll just register. It takes about 5 minutes to register on location. So again, this is an opportunity. It's a life-saving opportunity. You don't have to have any signs, symptoms, pain, discomfort to have a significant medical condition. So please, Thursday, April the 27th, 5 p.m. until 8:30 p.m.
And I want to really encourage brothers to come. This has become a time where you'll see a lot of black males come together in our county, and it's just it's not only a good thing for health-wise, but it's a great time of fellowship. You get to see guys. You may only see them once, won't see them again until the next year, but we have a good time. It's fun. It's festive. We enjoy each other's company. And I know you're not supposed to say it, but it's a male thing, and it's okay to have a male-only thing. I'll just tell you this real quickly. I like the store K&G, Melvin, and it used to be a men's store. And I used to love to go there. It was my favorite store. Then they started bringing women's clothes in there. I said, what are you guys doing? You messed up the whole thing. So we can never have anything to ourselves. So this is one of those rare moments that we can come together and just hang out and fellowship and bond with each other as brothers. I think it's a fantastic idea. I don't know anybody else in the country that's doing a minority men's health fair. But I know you've been doing this for the last 20 years, and you're doing a fantastic job, Dr. Modlin. And we applaud you, Dr. Modlin. You are one of my heroes and one of the heroes to our community, one of our dearest leaders. Leave us something. I know he's got to go. I would keep him longer, but he's got to go down to City Hall right now to make sure that City Hall is behind the mayor, City Hall of Cleveland, and they're behind the Minorities Men's Health Fair. We're going to make sure that he gets there on time. And I told him when he gets there, let him know that he came by Sure House and was at the Cleveland Clergy Coalition here first, promoting the Men's Health Fair.
Right.
Give us a parting word as you got. I know you got to go.
So Thursday, April the 27th, and this is your night, men. So this is all designed and created for you. The Minority Men's Health Fair, Thursday, April the 27th, 5 until 8:30 p.m., 3 Metro Health convenient locations. You never know what conditions you might have unless you go and you get screened. It's all free. We're trying to break down all the barriers. Also, Pastor Phillips, I want to leave you. There's a good-looking guy on the cover.
Oh, my God!
I want to leave you with a copy of my book.
Yes, did you sign it?
I'm going to autograph it. I'm going to autograph it for all of the support you've provided me. This book, it's actually took me about 4 years to write this book. It's life lessons I've learned on my long journey in becoming a kidney transplant surgeon, urologist. But it's a success tips book for the younger generation.
Yes.
There are certain things I learned that I want to pass back. Everybody needs to learn how to overcome challenges, obstacles, roadblocks.
Yes. Amen.
But there are certain things that we, the older generation, can help them so that they can better navigate their success journey, because many young people are derailed when they meet certain obstacles and oppositions. And so this is one of my ways to giving back to the younger generation. It's my responsibility.
Yes, it is.
To help the younger generation achieve whatever success goals they want to achieve.
That is fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for Dr. Modlin, and we will be there April 27th. And we'll come on, let's get some photos as our musicians come and give us a selection. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
At all 3 locations,
All-
main campus, Severance, and
Yes.
okay.
Ohio City, all 3 places. And good question. I didn't have time. I should have took the question. I didn't have time. You got to go down to City Hall. Thank you. Yeah, please do.
Copy of that picture also.
We'll send it to you tonight.
Okay.
We'll
All right,
send it to you
thanks.
tonight.
Okay.
Oh, magnify the Lord, for He's worthy. Bring Hosanna. Hosanna, song praise. Yes, sir. He's the rock. Okay, we're gonna thank you. We have our single guest. I just got a text, that's why I had to check my phone all the time. Our other guest is not gonna be able to make it. But we do have, from the Board of Election, we have a long-standing relationship the coalition does with the Cuyahoga County Board of Election. During every election, for the past probably 8 election cycles, on Sundays, we call this thing, we have Souls to the Polls. And the Cleveland Clergy Coalition has been leading that for the last few election cycles. So we've been having great outstanding relations with the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections. And this young lady is here today to join us. She's been sent from the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections to join us to talk about voting. If you didn't know this, early voting starts tomorrow. And I think Channel 8 must have saw my text about having the Board of Elections on, because they've been running a story about the Board of Elections all day. Have you noticed that? That they've been peeking in on my stuff, Peaches. So, but this is so important, and so we welcome you. Let's now you say your name, so I don't want to mess it up.
My name is Elia Burgos. I'm the Bilingual Community Outreach Coordinator at the Board of Elections. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome to be here. All right, so tell us about, when is the last day to register to vote for this election?
Actually, it's tonight. You have until 9 p.m. today. We're going to be open until that time. So if you haven't, if you need to update your voter registration because you moved, or if you haven't registered yet, go down to the Board of Elections and register.
Now, how often do I have to register? I have to register every year?
No, you will have to register every time you move.
Okay.
From your residence. If you change residence, if you get married and change your last name, you will have to re-register or update your registration.
Okay.
But as long as you participate often on elections, you wouldn't have to re-register.
So what if I haven't voted in the last 10 years? Do I need to register?
You will have to register again. You're obviously probably been eliminated from the voter records. We have a federal law that requires Board of Elections to keep their voter registration current, and when people don't vote for consecutive elections, we send them a letter letting them know that they haven't registered, or if they moved and they didn't update their registration with us. We receive a communication from the U.S. Postal Service, and we will let them know, hey, we learned that you moved, you haven't updated your voter registration with us, please do so we can keep your voter registration current. We send at least 2 letters in that period of time, and if the voter doesn't update their voter registration, then we will eliminate them from the record. But the person can re-register, and we never eliminate voters from the records before an election. That will be after an election, just to give people the chance to exercise their right to vote, and that will update their voter registration.
So is there a way for me to check or verify that I'm still currently registered and my vote information is updated? Is there a way for me to check that out?
Absolutely. You can go to our website. It's www.443vote.us.
Wait a minute. Is that the telephone number or the website?
No, that's the website.
It's 44. Give me the website again.
443vote.us.
443. So just the number 443?
Yes, our phone number is also the same. 443vote.
Is the same as the website?
Yes.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Just to make it easier for people to remember.
That is easy. I should try that out for myself. That's pretty smart.
So just by entering your last name and your date of birth, you could be able to check if you are still registered.
So I should should try that out now. Executive producer, check that out. Do it and check my name and see where if I'm updated. See how we're going to test it out right now, right before everybody's eyes, so people don't think we're lying to them. Now, let me ask you this: if I have been to prison, but I'm at home now leading a good life, productive life, can I vote?
Yes, you will have to.
I can vote if I'm a felon?
You will have to register, of course. If you are awaiting your trial, you can vote. If you serve your sentence, you can vote.
Okay.
If you are on probation, you can vote. As long as you are in the community, you can vote. But you will have to register.
So if you're a felon, convicted felon, or a convicted misdemeanor, so whatever crime, if you committed a crime that doesn't prevent you from voting.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
unless
guess
it's-
that's how
it's fraud or
that's how Trump is
Exactly.
running for president again, right? He's been I'm sure you would catch that, Minister Johnson. So that's good to know because sometimes there's out here in our community people will try to discourage people from voting and thinking that you can't vote if you're a felon, but that is absolutely
That
not
is
true.
a myth. The fact is that as long as you are out in the community and you registered to vote, you can vote.
You can vote. Okay,
Yes.
all right, that's good to know. So you don't. There's no excuse. Now, is there going to be early voting in Cuyahoga County this year?
We're starting tomorrow as part of the new voter election laws.
Mm-hmm.
There is no longer voting on the Monday before the election. That's one of the changes that
They got
happened.
rid of that day. They sure did. I forgot about that.
We didn't get rid of it. We just moved those hours to the week before. So for
Okay.
instance, on Tuesday, April 25th, we're going to be at the Board of Elections until 8:30. And that's also, before I forget, that's also the deadline to request your vote by mail ballot. Before it used to be the Saturday before the election at noon. Now is the Tuesday before the election, a week before the election, and this year falls on April 25th. So if you want to vote by mail, you can go on our website and request the application. And once you complete that application, you can either mail it or bring it to the Board of Elections. And if you haven't mailed it by the 25th, I recommend that you go by our offices.
Okay, now how do I get because you kind of changed on me. I want to know, if I want to vote by mail, how do I request to vote by mail ballot? How
You
do
will
I
have
get that?
you will have to go to our website, as mentioned
Go to the
before.
website, okay.
And we can either send you an application or you can print the application, complete it, and send it to the Board of Elections. Remember, this is a
You can print your voting
yes
ballot. You
no,
can
your
print
voting application.
voting application,
Application.
and then mail that application.
Mail that
in.
application. That will cut one step. Because that's one of the difficult things about or not difficult, but it adds time to the process if we have to send you the application. Another thing you could
Okay.
do is go to one of the libraries. They always have vote by mail application.
Can I fill out the application online?
You have to request that we send you one. You can't do it online.
Yeah, oh, that's what I'm asking. I
Yes.
can register online, though, right?
You could register online.
I can register to vote online, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
But I I cannot get my request for a mail-in ballot online, though, right? I gotta.
You will have to either ask us to send you an application that you can complete.
Okay.
Or print that application. We need your signature. That's
Gotcha.
why you can't do it online.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, but you don't need my signature to register.
We have other means to certify that you are who you are. When you register
Okay.
online, you have to provide us either the last four. You have to provide us both the last four digits of your social security number and also the driver's license or the Ohio state ID.
Oh, and that's how
So
they
that's
verify
another
your
means.
signature.
Yes.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Now let's talk about this ID thing because that's a big thing, and there has been some changes, and that's why we as clergy have organized this in a very huge way because ID is kind of a weird thing now. So explain to us what ID is necessary, which used to didn't be that way.
So currently, you will need a photo ID to be able to vote in person, either early at the Board of Elections or on Election Day. Before, you used to be able to bring a utilities bill, a check from the government, or other secondary documents to certify you were who you were. But with the new laws, we will require you to bring either your driver's license that it's current, Ohio driver's license, your Ohio state ID, a passport, an interim document from the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, or one of the ID cards issued by the Veterans Office, but the federal one, the one that has your photo and address. So now you will have to provide something that has a photo of you.
Okay, say that one more time. I think we have some technical difficulties, and we're going to check this out right now. So if I don't have a photo ID, though, how am I going to vote? Because if I didn't have a photo ID, I used to bring in a couple of utility bills, right, and would show my address and any other, and like a bank card, and I'd be okay. Almost like when you do your driver's license.
Exactly.
So tell me now, I can't do that now?
No, unfortunately, we cannot accept those documents or those IDs that we used to accept before.
Because the law changed.
Because
The
the
laws
law
in
changed.
Ohio,
Exactly.
the state representatives and state senators, the Republicans, they changed the law. You can't say it, but I can. They changed the law on us, y'all, so to keep us from voting.
Right.
So that was one of their tactics. So just because we're getting people out to vote, they will change the lines on you. They will move the goalposts. That's how they do things.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad that you're here to explain it. So you've got to have an ID. Because one of the things that we're working on as clergy, some people don't have an ID because they can't afford it.
Correctly.
So we have received some funds to get people IDs, and they're going to pay for it.
But the law provides that starting on April 7th, you can go to the Bureau of Motor Vehicles and obtain your state ID for free. But that starts
What?
on April 7th, yes.
Boy, we should shout that out. I wish they would have told me that before I went and got my driver's license replaced.
It's just the state ID.
Just a
not
state
the,
ID?
Yeah, not
Okay.
the driver's
That's
license.
a driver's license. Dang.
As
Boy.
far as that process, that's the only thing I can tell you because we don't know anything
Okay.
else about
Well,
how
right.
the process will be.
Right. You aren't in charge of that, but you know that
Exactly.
will come April the 7th. If you need an ID, now we didn't know that because we had to get some resources to help people get an ID, and so that's why we did it. But come April 7th, that will help us. We will bus you just like we'll bus you to work. We will bus you to all of these places at the driver's license bureaus where you can get the state ID and get it for free after April the 7th. Okay, and we know that this is April the 4th today, right?
Today's
Today's
the
the
3rd.
third.
Tomorrow
So-
the 4th.
All right, so
when
April
we
the
start
3rd,
that
so we
early
know
voting.
this isn't an April Fool's Day joke. It's for real. All right? So you got to have an ID. You got to present that ID. You can register to vote online, but you can't. Now, here's a big question. Can I vote online?
No. You cannot.
Everybody always asks me that question. You know, that would be simple, right? If we could figure that out. If I can buy toothpaste from across the country from China and get it to my house the next day online, that's Amazon, you know.
Yes.
Why can't I vote online? That makes no sense to me whatsoever, and it's not making sense to a lot of people in America, but right now you cannot vote online, correct?
The main concern is basically security of those ballots and, being able to have a paper trail in case something goes awry. We have a way to make sure that everything checks out. That's why we always have a paper trail.
Sure, yeah, I
So
know.
doing that online wouldn't be possible.
Okay, I understand your answer. So let me ask you this: so we can't vote online, register online, and can you vote? When is the time to early voting? And the Board of Elections is going to be open.
Well, we start tomorrow.
Okay.
The hours are posted on our website. I have them here just
Give it to us.
refresh my mind.
Yeah, refresh. Go ahead. You can use your cheater.
It's a long list.
Take your time. We got time.
Okay. So we start tomorrow from 8 to 5.
To 5.
On Monday, April 24th, we start at 7:30 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. And then Tuesday, April 25th, as I mentioned earlier, we start at 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Weekdays, April 26th to April 28th, we will be voting, accepting voters from 7:30 to 7:30 p.m., so 12 hours there. And then the last weekend, April 29th, which is a Saturday, we will be there from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sunday, April 30th, from 1 to 5. And that's when we usually receive you
That's
at the
what we
Board of Elections
right.
with Sold to the Polls.
So to the polls on April 30th now, y'all. Now, let me ask you this. Where do I go to vote for early voting? Can I go to my regular polling location? Do I go to my church to go vote? Where do I go for in-person early voting?
Early voting is only allowed at the Board of Elections site, which is 2925 Euclid in Cleveland.
30th and Euclid, that's where we go. Okay, that's everybody has to go there,
Yes.
but unless you want to go to your regular polling site
That
on
will be
election
on
day.
election.
Election day,
Yes,
okay.
correct.
All right, so be clear. We got one box One place to vote. That's the same place where I go vote is the same place I would drop off my mail-in box ballot
Correct.
too, right?
Correct. And that ballot drop box is open 24 hours, 7 days a week, and it's always under surveillance. It has security, so it's a safe place to bring your voter registration cards. If you want to go and register tonight, you just have to complete the voter registration form and drop it off in the ballot box. We receive the applications for the ballot, and we receive, when you vote, we receive your ballot there too. And you don't have to even get out of the car. It's a drive-through. Just open the window and extend your arm, and it will be there.
Okay, so same place for dropping off ballots and dropping off my voter registration, same place I go to vote in person for during this time.
Correct.
Now, a lot of times, this is, we like to say off year, but I know the elected officials hate when I say that, but it's not a...
It's election on, not an election
Oh,
off.
so you sound like the elected officials. They used to tell I remember, actually, you know who first got me together on that was Chantel Brown. She was the Cuyahoga County commissioner then. She was not a councilwoman then. She was not who's now the congressperson.
Mm-hmm.
She said, Pastor, there's no such thing as an off-year election. I'll never forget that. And she told me that right on my radio broadcast. Told me off right there. And she was right. So, and I will tell you, it is important. Every year is important. But this year, this primary is really for more local, right?
Yes.
This is for if you're in a particular city, you're voting on local city issues, correct?
And that's why it's so important, because it's local. These are the people who are most close to our homes and will take decisions on things that are primordial for our living.
Right.
There are some Democratic judicial races.
Right.
The people who win, the person who wins those races will go on to November. But there are also levies. There's zoning issues. There's cities who have that have school levies, which are obviously important. So just to make sure what's on your ballot, just go to our website once again, www.443vote.us, and you can get your sample ballot. People can get ready and study the issues, because sometimes, just going to your polling location or go to the Board of Elections on Election Day can take people, by surprise.
Right.
I don't understand this, or maybe you want to discuss it with your pastors, with your churchgoers, and have a more extensive vision of what would you like to vote for. So go to our website and get a sample ballot so you're ready.
Oh, that's a great idea. The website is really, give us the website again too.
443vote.us, or you can just go on Google and search Cuyahoga County Board of Elections, and you will have. We renew the website last year or 2 years ago, and we won an award for being one of the best government websites.
Is that right?
Yes.
I have to go check
So
that
we're very
out.
proud of it.
Yeah, you
And
should
it's
be.
both in English and Spanish, because
Okay.
you know that we have a very large Hispanic community in Cuyahoga County. So we provide all our services and voter information. It's in both languages.
Oh, that's very good. Well, that's good. Does anybody have a question for our representative from the Board of Election? We'll take a question now before we take a song break. Come on, get the mic, Minister Johnson. This is one of our associate ministers here to this church, Minister Bertha Johnson. Go ahead, Minister.
Hi.
You asked a lot of the questions that I was going to ask, Pastor. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The one question I wanted to ask when we were talking about when people move, you have to, update everything. Now, do we have to update our photo ID?
As long as it should be current
It's current.
to be accepted, yes.
So you don't have to go and get a new ID just to go and vote.
If you move, you should update your ID when you move. I think, and I'm kind of fussy on those details, before we used to accept a driver's license that wasn't current, as long as your address was updated in the voter roll.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, and I might have to come back to you with this, what I read in the law, it has to be a valid current ID. I don't know if the address will have to be updated.
Yeah, because when you say valid
Yeah.
and current, this is where
Yes.
you know, I did move. That's one of the reasons why.
But that would be something that I have to
So
review.
if she moved already, she would have to, she could vote
Her
from.
driver's license will be current, for instance, but the address wouldn't be current.
Right.
So, as I said, used to be, you will have to have the voter roll, the voter registration, at least that updated for us to accept your ID.
Okay.
Okay.
And give you a
One other
ballot.
thing, I'm glad that you did mention what we're getting ready to vote
And that's a very
for
good
now,
question.
because we're not getting a lot of information. I'm in a high-rise building and whatnot, and a lot of times we get a lot of this information, but I haven't seen anything in the
So
building.
when you are eligible for to participate in an election, we will send you a voter guide, and that voter guide has all the information. I will tell you what are the required IDs, the ID requirements, the hours. So when you receive something similar to this, I'm going to show it to you. Please don't put it in the garbage. Don't put it in the trash can. Read it. Because it will be personalized to you as a voter. And it will tell you where do you have to go vote.
And that's coming from the Board of Elections?
This comes from the voter election every year in every election. The only time we didn't send one out was last year when we had that separate primary and we couldn't send the voter guide, and that's when
Because
we
they
really,
kept on changing the line.
yes,
number.
that's when we really noticed and could appreciate how good of a source of information that voter guide is. Because people were like, what? We didn't know there was an election. We didn't get the voter guide.
Right.
So when you receive that, take your time, put it on in the fridge for reference. It has the website, the phone numbers.
When should we be getting that?
Well, if you are eligible to vote for this election, you will have received it already.
I got it already?
Yes. So if you're not in this election, because there,
Did you check? Am I updated?
keep in mind.
Say that one more time. Hold on.
You have to verify with your driver's license ID and your last 4 digits of your social security.
On the website.
On the website. No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You will have to use your last name and your date of birth in the tab that I'm referring to. But
Okay.
if you
So when
ha-
I want to verify, this is important because so when I go to verify that I am a registered voter, I have to put in my date of birth.
your date of birth and your last name and everything is going to come up. It's going to tell you if you're eligible for this election, if you are registered, and how to get your sample ballot. It's everything in one. It's a one-stop shop, basically.
Okay. All right. So I want to make sure we try to put my name and my date of birth. I just had a birthday, so everybody
Yeah, we
knows
don't.
my date of birth.
The Secretary of State requires a driver's license for registering to vote.
But if I'm already registered, it should come up. It should pop up under my name
Yes,
and my date of
exactly.
birth.
And it will tell you.
3/1966. Just had birthday. So somebody should be able to catch that. All right. Anything else, Minister?
Yes, sir. She's saying it'll it'll tell you whether you're eligible or ineligible. Where are we with that? You know,
Okay.
what makes us
So this
eligible?
election is for, there's 30 municipalities in this election, and I'm going to read briefly
Okay.
from this,
a
from
good
this
idea.
list. We have elections in Beechwood, Bedford Heights, Berea, just Ward 1, Broadview Heights, Ward 1, Precinct B, Brooklyn, Chagrin Falls Township, Cleveland, only Ward 14, Precinct I, Garfield Heights, Highland Hills, Maple Heights, North Randall, North Royalton, on Ward 3, Precinct D, Oakwood Village, Parma, Pepper Pike, Precinct C, just two portions only of that precinct, Rocky River, Ward 3, Precinct 8, Seven Hills, South Euclid, Warrensville Heights, Woodmere Village, Bedworth, Bentleyville, Chagrin Falls Village, Glenwillow, Independence, Moreland Hills, Orange Village, Parma Heights, Solon, and Westlake. So as you can see, there's a limited, and there's some cities that only have a few precincts or wards that are in the election. That's why we send that voter guide
Right.
to announce or to let people know, hey, there's an election coming and you're eligible.
Okay. All right. That's really good information. Thank you very much. Is there
You're
anything else that
welcome.
we need to know that we didn't go over?
Yes, it's very easy to be prepared. Just choose one of the methods, either early in-person voting, vote by mail, or on election day, and then you will know what are the requirements. Just select the method of voting, and you'll be set. And obviously, don't forget to bring a photo ID. That's one of the requirements that are, you have to have one now.
Okay. And listen, we're asking all pastors, all clergy, make sure you verify with your members that they are voting, that they are registered to vote, that they are eligible to vote, and let's make sure we get out to vote. We have to start planning now for 2024, which is a presidential year. That's why we're not waiting until 2024 to start talking about this. This is very important that we are mobilizing our community and getting people out to vote. It is critical in these critical times. Tomorrow, April 4th, marks the anniversary of Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination. So we are really wanting to be reminded that people like him literally died, that we may be able to have this right now to vote. So way to remember Dr. King the best is make sure you're registered and find 2 or 3 other people to make sure that they're registered to vote. And even if you're not voting in this particular primary in May, still register. Registering to vote isn't just about voting. I tell people this all the time. They look at those records to determine resources for different communities. So when we don't vote in our communities, that's why our communities look all jacked up. That's a community that hadn't been voting. So that's why we have to make sure that that our issues are heard, our voices are heard, and that we are making sure we are being about our Father's business, and that includes voting. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you so
I really
much.
appreciate you so much, and keep up the great work at the Board of Elections. And tell my dear friend, Skip, I said hello. I love him. He's fantastic. I love him.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Give her a big hand. Come on with a song. We did a song. We're going to close out with some yoga. Thank you so much. I want to, now we know we're still on live broadcasting. We want to make sure, I want to give by way of announcements. This coming Friday is Good Friday. The 7 last words will be that we'll be participating with United Pastors Mission. Bishop Larry Macon is the president. He couldn't make it today. He was going to be here, but he just texted me and said something, an emergency came up, and We wish you all the best, Bishop Megan. We're praying for you, hoping everything is okay. We will be at Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church, Mount Sinai Friendship Baptist Church, 7500 and Woodland. These 7 last words. We have some dynamic preachers and pastors who are going to be preaching those 7 last words. I'll be there this Good Friday. My dear friend Ken Dow is going to come with me. We're going to be there. This is a holy season. This is Holy Week.
Yes.
There's church every night. That's why I wore my 3-piece suit. Producer, I got to go to church again tonight. If there's any week that you ought to be holy, it ought to be Holy Week, right? So we're going to be in church here this week. So Friday, Good Friday, 12 noon. 12 noon at Mount Sinai Baptist Church, 7 last words, Sure House, and we'll be participating. And then Monday the 17th, and we're trying to figure out the podcast to our folks. We're going to have Reverend Dr. Pastor Freddie Haynes from Dallas, Texas, going to be preaching for the Cleveland Clergy Coalition for a group of our pastors that we're going to be here at Sanctuary Baptist Church right around the corner on Harvard Avenue. 4004 East 135th Street. I'm sorry, 131st Street, not Harvard, 131st Street, Sanctuary Baptist Church at 7 o'clock. And hopefully we're going to have Dr. Haynes on our podcast before we go to the service. So that's the plan for April the 17th. All right? So those are things that are happening. And then we want you to direct you to the Plum webpage. How do I say that? Mr. LeVert, it's on the screen, right? We want to redirect you. You'll find podcasts and from our podcast and from several podcasts from the community. It's the Plum. Well, how do I pronounce that? Am I saying that right?
No, it's the North Coast Digital.
North Coast Digital. North Coast Digital.
And on there, that's the host of the Plum radio station.
North Coast Digital, the host of the Plum radio station. I want you to direct your attention there. That's going to be a part of. And we'll always have space for sponsorship. So if you want to sponsor, be a part of a sponsor to help this podcast continue to do what we have called to do, we need your help and resources. We will shout you out. We have a young man who's going to be doing some great things in our community. He's going to be on our podcast, going to be one of our sponsors. So we're always looking for sponsors. So please get in contact with us. You can always call me, Pastor Aaron Phillips, at 216-889-7844, and I will direct you to our producer, Ms. Tanya Carter. All right, and she hadn't given me her permission to give her the telephone number over the air yet, but I will very soon. All right, so now we're going to close this podcast. This is kind of health fair, health issue day, and I'm going to come down here, Sean. So do I need to bring the mic? I'm going to come down. I don't need to bring the mic. Y'all be able to hear me. All right. If you are fortunate enough to watch us on Sunday mornings. Last Sunday, if you want to get a little laugh, I watched it myself. I tripped up and messed up my knee and said, man, I'm so glad I exercised. Because if I didn't, I'd really be messed up. And I'm still kind of messed up now. But coming up here, Peaches, this is Tatiana Williams. She's a member of our congregation. And she's telling me to back up. All right. Yeah, welcome our family, Peaches. All right. When I just thought about this, we remember we had Peaches on, and I haven't been able to get to on Friday. Are you not good this Good Friday? You're not having a play?
No, you missed it last Friday.
It was last Friday? I kind of figured that, but my knee wasn't doing so well last Friday. But I mentioned I should have come. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask, you all remember Peaches, to tell us about what you do so everybody's going to remember.
All right, so I am a health and wellness coach. I also teach yoga, Pilates, and I offer nutritional education as well. I do this in the Slavic village community and beyond.
Right, and how do people get a hold to you?
They can reach me on my website, which is www.peaceloveandlight.com. You can reach me at Peaches Love and Light on all social media platforms, or you can call 216-309-1178.
Get in touch with her. She knows what she's doing. And we're going to do a demonstration this time. And I'm going to ask our members from our audience to come and join me. So come on up here, Minister Johnson and Tanya Carter. We're going to do some. And Tanya Carter wore her jogging suit. She's come on up. All right. Minister Johnson, she's ready to go. Come on up here. We're going to do this together. I have, when I felt, it's the funniest thing. And I laughed at myself and I'm so embarrassed. So I wore big pants and I have a brace on. So I may not be able to do everything. So what do you call that? Be gentle with me.
Okay.
I got this knee brace on, but here's Tiny. These folks here. Yeah. Y'all, you do that for the camera's sake?
Yes.
Okay, we want to make sure we see these beautiful people on camera. All right, so Tatiana, features were in your hands.
All right, so right now we are going to just run through sun salutation. So this is a sequence that I teach at the Stellar Recreation Center because it's a great introduction to the postures and poses of yoga. And it helps you to learn how to stack your body. So we're going to start by lifting our arms up above our heads. Take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to fold forward at the waist, bringing the fingertips towards the toes. They don't have to touch. Then we're going to take a deep breath in. And then we're going to exhale and see if we can walk our fingers down until we reach a plank position.
What?
So
you want me to do what?
if plank is uncomfortable, you can definitely come down to your knees. That is 100% acceptable. And so from plank position, what you're going to do is take a deep breath in, exhale, come down to the knees, and then you're going to slowly lower your chest down. Once your chest is down to the ground, you're going to push up, bringing the shoulders up, and the head goes back, so you'll be flat on the ground. The head goes back towards the tailbone.
I should have brought my mat.
Take a deep breath in. And you're going to curl your toes under and see if you can push your tailbone up and make a V. So you may have to bend the knees.
We're going to call that downward dog.
Yeah, this is acceptable. Or if you have a little bit more flexion, you can stretch the leg out completely so that the feet come flat. You're going to take a deep breath in.
How long are you going to be here?
We're going to exhale, bring your right foot forward. All right, the arms are going to come up. You're doing great. Take a deep breath.
Oh, that's warrior one, right?
Mm-hmm. Exhale, see if you can bring the palms back down. Send the right foot back. Now we're going to send the left foot forward and do the same thing that we did before.
Yeah, look, you ladies are in shape.
Take a deep breath in.
Not quite.
Exhale, we'll come back down to that V, and we're almost done, I promise. So we'll take a deep breath from here, bend the knees, and exhale as you bring the hands back and roll up. There's definitely a lot of different ways to modify each pose to fit your needs.
Yes.
But this sequence works the entire body from head to toe.
It sure did.
So it's great to do in the morning, in the afternoon, if you want just a quick burst of energy, or even at night to help relax.
Yes, yes. And I do these on a regular basis. But I thank you all for help. Give a big hand to Thank you so much. And now when is your next section?
So the next class is April 14th.
April 14th.
And that's a Friday from 6 to 7.
And that's going to be at
Stella Watch, 7345 Broadway Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. So it's right next to where South High School used to be.
Right. And do I need any money to come?
No, the class is free.
Okay, this April the 14th. Oh, that's right before the revival night. I'll remember that. All right, so April 14th, that's a Friday night. Join me. I'm going to go there, and hopefully my knee will be better. But I know about all that stuff. I just did it the other day. Thank you all. Did a fantastic job. Thank you, John. Appreciate it so much. Oh, absolutely. Give her a big hand. All right. Producer, am I out of time? All right, we got one song. And thank you for joining us at Cleveland Clergy Coalition Issues Matter with Pastor Aaron Phillips. We'll be back next week, next Monday, April the 10th, which is my nephew's and my daughter's birthday. So I'll remember that. God bless you. Thanks to this band. Get out of here.
This has been the live video podcast, Issues Matter, hosted by Pastor Aaron Phillips. Join us next week as we dig into other issues that affect the lives of everyday citizens of the greater Cleveland area. Until then, stay safe and stay woke.